All right, how you guys doing? I'm going to give you a quick overview of how to, change a message or any part of a workflow. Okay, we'll start by you log into the app. Next, you're going to pick the account we want. In our case, it's Digital Brands. And you're going to go down here and we're going to select Automation. Okay, here's the automation screen. So in our case, we're going to pick the Digital Brands workflow copy that Chris created for you this morning. Okay, and here is the workflow. I'll give you a quick explanation of everything. So if you look at the actions, the top, the form submitted, this is the trigger to what causes this to fire off. And if you look here, you choose a workflow trigger. In our case, we looked for form submitted because we want the form on the funnel. And then we kind of go further and say, okay, here's a filter. The form is, and we select the form that we want to apply. We save that trigger. Okay, so now we have our trigger. So the first step it does is it checks to see if the email went through okay. This is already set up, so I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, and then you go down, and if the email goes through okay, this is the first email. So we can click on it, and here is the email. You can give it a name. You can decide, how it's filled in, like the from name, the from email, and so on, the subject. And here is the message. So this is where you would put your message in. The way it works is you can kind of just type it in as you want it. We have the message previously because this is a copied thing. So you could just delete the whole message if you like and then put in your stuff. And the way you can do this is you could put hi. You can go into this custom values here, and we're talking to the contact. So you could put their full name, and it'll personalize the message to them. And then you could put whatever the message is that you want. Okay, we already have that set up. So you can change that. When you're done, to make sure the format and everything looks good, you could put your email address here and send a test email. Make sure you save the action. Save it again here. Okay, it's saved. Make sure this is set to publish, which means that the workflow is active. And then you can move on to the next step and, alter as you need. This is a wait step. So basically you can tell how long it's going to wait. In this case, it waits 1 day. Then if the email worked, it adds a contact tag to it. So the second email here, again, you could just go in. It's going to take a second to load up. But you can just change this message to what you want it to be. Be sure at the end to test it, which you could do here. And then you could save your action, save it up here, and so on. And then it just moves through. And you can kind of alter any of the emails or, the wait times as you go through the workflow. It's going to follow all through all of these steps. And that's pretty much it. If you want to check after, you can come back into it and you can look at like the history, which would show you, what has happened to the contacts that have been added to this. In this case, they'll go through all those steps, but we haven't added any contacts yet. So, okay, let me go back to actions, and that's how you adjust anything on here. Then you can, once you're done, you just always make sure you save it. You could test the workflow to run through the whole thing. In this case, it would take 7 days or whatever, because there's a wait of 1 day between each thing, but that works fine. You can also check the settings to make sure that everything is set the right way, and so on. When you're finally done, back to the workflow, and then your workflow is set up.